Team Cherry has finally announced the release date of the highly anticipated Hollow Knight Silksong that has been in development for 7 years, bringing in many new fans that have never played Hollow Knight. So in this video, I'll be going through the main things you need to know before playing Silksong. There will be spoilers ahead for Hollow Knight and footage from the Silksong trailer, so if you haven't played Hollow Knight yet, I highly advise you to pause the video, play Hollow Knight, then come back to continue. In Hollow Knight, you play as this little guy, commonly referred to as the Knight, exploring the Hollow Nest while trying to stop the infection that's spreading. So how did this infection come to be, and why is our Knight the one to stop it? Well, before that, we have to go back to a time before the Hollow Nest existed. Long before the establishment of the Kingdom of Hollow Nest, the land was split between tribes of insectoid and arachnoid beings, such as Hornet, which we will talk about more later. But for now, let's focus on what really happened to make Hollow Nest the way it is. It all started when a higher being known as the Worm travelled into the land of the Kingdom's Edge and metamorphosized into the Pale King. Now, if you go into the Kingdom's Edge, you would find this shell, which is the king's former body. Huge, right? So now, with him appearing like the bugs that inhabited this land he set foot on, he built the Kingdom of Hollow Nest, granting the beings free will and sapience. The king's good deeds and godly nature were admirable to most creatures of Hollow Nest, which caused the bugs to follow him, surrendering their archaic religious beliefs. And among them were the moths, who abandoned their old deity, the Radiance. After being forgotten, the Radiance started to seek revenge to gain back its following. And so he began to appear in the dreams of the bugs of Hollow Nest, causing the bugs to become mindless, violent, and zombie-like undead beings suffering eternally. The Radiance's plague became known as the Infection. To combat the infection of the Radiance, the Pale King, together with the White Lady, which is the wife of the Pale King, and the Queen of Hollow Nest, created thousands of vessels, which are living insectoid beings made from void. The Radiance was powerless against these vessels, as they had no ability to dream or any free will. The Pale King chose only the purest vessel to become the Hollow Knight, which was used to seal the Radiance within it. The Hollow Knight was then locked inside a vault called the Black Egg Temple to prevent the infection from ever manifesting again, for the safety of Hollow Nest. And it worked, or so they thought. Fortunately, the Hollow Knight's shell eventually cracked due to a small flaw in its purity, being its emotional attachment to its creator and father, the Pale King, who raised and trained it. The infection began to leak out, once again corrupting the minds and bodies of everyone in Hollow Nest. Because of this, the Pale King appointed 3 bugs, known as the Dreamers, to make a seal that would stop the infection. The 3 Dreamers were Monomon the Teacher, Lurian the Watcher, and Hero the Beast. While the first 2, Monomon and Lurian, volunteered to become Dreamers, Hera did it on one condition: for the Pale King to give her a child. And so, the Dreamers entered stasis to protect the Hollow Knight's slumber. However, even that couldn't stop the infection, which caused the kingdom to come to ruin, and the Pale King, along with his court and palace, mysteriously vanished across the chaos. And this brings us to now. Arriving in Dirtmouth, on the border of the Old Kingdom, the Knight begins its journey through the ruins of Hollow Nest, seeking answers to the mysteries of its own past. It is rumored that our Knight is one of the vessels of the Pale King, born in the Abyss with void inside their shell. The Abyss was later sealed, and it's unknown how our Knight escaped it. And now that you're all caught up on the story, let's talk about Hornet, which is the main protagonist of Silksong. Hornet is the daughter of the Pale King and Hera the Beast, the Queen of Deep Nest. Her birth was a result of a bargain made for her mother to become a dreamer. This sort of makes Hornet and Knight have siblings, as they do share the same father. Hornet is an arachnid warrior that was raised in the Deep Nest. After some time, she was able to sense the awakening of the infection, and started off on a journey to travel across Hollow Nest and search for answers. She managed to survive both the fall and infection of the kingdom. She usually wanders around the ruins, chasing off all travelers and outsiders she thinks are trying to desecrate the place. Her purpose is to protect both the sealing of the Black Egg and the cast-off shell in the Kingdom's Edge. She's the one that mentions to the Knight that they're born from 2 voids, one in the Hollow Nest and the other outside. And to defeat the infection, they can either take the place of the Hollow Knight and seal the infection within it, or use the Void Heart to unify the Void under its own will and claim itself as the new king of Hollow Nest. Hollow Knight has 5 endings, and Team Cherry did mention before that there is no canon ending, so any of these endings could have taken place before Silksong. First ending is the Hollow Knight ending, where the Knight absorbs the infection and is sealed inside of the Black Egg. The second one is the Sealed Siblings ending, where Hornet is sealed alongside the Knight inside of the Black Egg, which is probably the least likely one to take place before Silksong. The third one is the Dream No More ending. In it, the Radiance gets dragged into the Void and banished, which purges the infection from the temple. Afterwards, Hornet wakes up to find the Knight's shell broken in half, implying that the Knight has either died or returned to the Void. The fourth ending is the Embrace the Void ending. After defeating all of the Pantheons and the Absolute Radiance, the Knight turns into a void entity called the Lord of Shades that destroys the Radiance and possesses the Godseeker. Then we cut to the Godseeker in the Drunk Pit, with the void leaking out of her eyes, and the void making its way out to the real world. We then see Hornet standing outside of the Black Egg as the infection starts to disappear. She then is approached by what seems to be the escaped Hollow Knight. Now, for the fifth ending, which is the Delicate Flower ending, only occurs when the Knight gives the Godseeker a delicate flower. The only difference in this ending, however, is that instead of the void escaping, the Godseeker and the void disappear, leaving only the flower behind. Well, that's pretty much it for now. If there's anything that I missed that you think is worth mentioning, do tell me down in the comments below. And if you like this video and want to see more, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.